Good morning, everybody, and it's with my pleasure to introduce everybody that's here. My name is Christopher. As you know, this is Junk Doctors NJ, and this is our group formerly known as Small Businesses and Entrepreneurs. And we have two entrepreneurs here from Critters and Catchers, and we have Claire and Killian, and they're going to introduce themselves and their business and what they provide to the state of New Jersey. These guys are local business, and like I always stress on this program of ours here, and what we do on this group is that we promote small businesses, entrepreneurs that are growing, and local New Jersey businesses. Since you have a lot of big companies that get a lot of spotlight on them, and this is our way of providing a bigger spotlight on people in our area, and especially small businesses. And excuse me, especially small businesses like Claire and Killian that offer the best services because they are the owner operator of their business and they represent their business. I always say to myself, would I rather franchise guys come over and they're not to put anybody down, people work hard, but I personally see a better outcome in local businesses, and they do much better, as we all know, and that's why we formulated this group. And here are our guests today, Claire and Killian, and please describe what you guys do. It's very interesting, and I want everybody to know.
We are a wildlife remediation service. We service all of New Jersey from south to north. We go anywhere, and we remove any nuisance wildlife. So raccoons, squirrels, bats, rats, mice, anything that gets into your home that you don't want there. Our slogan is actually tell us that the pest will handle the rest. So that's basically what we do. Any coyotes, skunks, anything, we do trapping, we do remediation. And we love what we do, and it's all humane. Everything we do is for the animal as well.
Yeah, and this is a perfect subject for New Jersey. Yep. Even though excuse me for that sound right there. Let me just take that off. Especially here in northern Jersey. Yeah, we're right next to a city, and we're a densely populated state. However, New Jersey is still very wooded, has a lot of forests. We have the Highland Act where we cannot build in certain areas, and we do have wildlife. If you guys ever driven into Sussex County and seen their welcome to Sussex County nature, you will see wildlife. And I mean, it actually says that on their actual board, and I find that very interesting. And these animals that are coyotes and all raccoons, they're everywhere. They're embedded into our society. That's why you guys come very highly recommended. I know personally, I dealt with raccoons, very difficult animals, to say the least. What's the difference between seeing a raccoon in the daytime and nighttime?
So right now, it's less likely that they have rabies, just because there's been so many changes with the temperature and the time it's getting dark out. So whereas before, if you saw a raccoon during the day, you'd automatically think, okay, they have rabies. They're changing and adapting. So now it's more likely you'll see just a regular raccoon in the daytime, especially if they're moved. Like, say we capture it in one area and we release it into another area, it could be out during the day. So there's different things. I mean, if you see it and it's foaming at the mouth and it's acting odd, then it probably is carrying rabies. But it's less likely than it would have been a couple years ago, now that the temperatures changed. Animals know when things are changing. Even our seasons have changed, where it's usually birthing season has started. It's not, a lot of the companies aren't starting. We'd be smashed with baby raccoons right now, and it's changing.
Wow, that's a good analogy, because I noticed that too. I think all of us. I mean, I grew up Jersey boy, born in Hudson County, and I just remember growing through the 80s and 90s, and winters were very cold. Now it's kind of like winter doesn't start until maybe the end of December going into January, and even this February was like relatively warm, and now it's chilly and cold.
It goes
so this
up,
does
down,
affect
and
the
it's
animals.
affecting all of them. Yes, and it's affecting. So we have to adapt as they adapt, and things change. It's really become, our climate is changing drastically, and all the animals are affected by it. So we have to adapt. Like any company, we have to know what they do.
Yeah, I mean, that does sound very interesting, to say the least. They are definitely adapting to the weather. And how are you guys seeing? You guys seeing what's like the most popular animal or that you guys deal with on a regular basis that people call you up on?
Raccoons.
Yeah, raccoons. Maybe squirrels too. Those are definitely I'd say they're tied.
Yeah,
for
and
number one.
mice too.
And you guys
mice.
go inside of homes and you give, you'll look at everything, give the assessment, I would think, right?
We do, and we offer packaging.
Nice.
So our packaging is, our base package is a 1 year limited guarantee. We guarantee all our work. We want your animal out. So the 1 year limited guarantee guarantees all our work. So whatever we go out, if there's a hole and we cover it with a one-way tunnel that allows the animal to get out and not get back in, that's guaranteed for a year from the date of service. Our next package is an entire structure guarantee. So that means if they chew a new hole, which is very common for squirrels and raccoons, they'll come out one way and then they'll try to break in somewhere else.
Oh.
Yeah, so we guarantee the full structure for
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what, Claire, and Killian, you guys make a real good assessment here, and I want people to realize I really believe, and with my experience, I own a property, and it is a lot more affordable to go with these guys than just say, you know what, I'll do it myself, or they'll leave. Just if you can explain what kind of damage in the price ranges have you seen animals do? I mean, wouldn't it be more affordable just to get somebody out there, assess the situation, eradicate the problem? But I think some people say, I don't need this. These are animals, they leave. What do you think? I mean, they do cause a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah. Especially raccoons. They go to the bathroom in one area and they're like small dogs.
Oh.
So think about that in your attic.
Oh.
And then
they can actually climb up the structure and get in.
Yep. They climb right up the gutter chase and they get into the house, and then they're going to the bathroom and they go in one spot. It leaks through the ceiling.
Oh my God.
And then they can cause roundworm with their feces. So if you have a large amount of feces in an attic, it can actually cause breathing issues, and that's with bats too. Bats can cause respiratory issues with a large amount of guano.
And you're also seeing bats.
Yes.
So in our North New Jersey, or Jersey in particular, you've seen it all. I mean, what was like the most unusual animal since you've been working that you've seen in Jersey that you could say was like, wow, I haven't seen this in Jersey?
Well, the coyotes.
Really?
Yeah, they're becoming really, and we went to do trapping for coyotes in North Bergen, which is like in New York.
That's like New York City.
Yes. And they were up on, like you had told us prior, in your home on that hill.
Oh yeah, well I live in a wooded area. You would actually think,
this was just one random hill.
I live right next to Route 80. Why?
And they were trying to attack the little animals at this building. Yeah.
So what do you blame I mean, do you see coyotes? They're becoming more prevalent. Are they mating more? Is there no hunting for them?
I think a large part of it was COVID. During COVID, there wasn't a lot of people out. A lot of companies weren't working.
Oh wow!
People didn't want people at their home, so they were able to mate and live freely without the worry of either being hit by cars or people coming out and killing them. So that's why. So now we, like, right after COVID, it was like a boom, especially groundhogs. I did.
Oh, yes.
I swear.
Oh, my God.
What was it, last summer? We did groundhog trapping I had like 100 traps out for groundhogs. It was insane. I've
Yeah.
never seen so many.
Oh
in
my
life. That
God.
was crazy.
Yeah, that was,
I want to, you just mentioned groundhogs, and I just want to tell you guys a quick experience I had with a groundhog. You may not believe it. So I'm not sure if you've seen like commercials where they have this insurance commercial where if it happened, we've seen it,
Yeah.
right? I'm sure you've
Yes.
seen that. I think it's Allstate.
yeah.
I have some pets. I have a pet. She's half boxer, half American Stafford pit bull. Great dog, but she gets excited. Groundhog. Groundhog runs away from her, goes underneath a vehicle, somebody's vehicle, goes underneath it, gets on top of the engine. The dog is so excited, and she rips off the bumper. She rips off the tire. What is that? The inside the tire,
The rim,
not the rim. The thing
I
is
know
the
what you-
plastic.
yeah.
The wheel well.
the fender.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, it's like a fender, but it's like actually the wheel well has like
It,
a plastic.
protects that,
Yeah, and it ripped off. I mean, completely tarnished. So, and then I look out the window and I see the vehicle, and I'm like, I didn't crash that vehicle. And I thought somebody backed up into it, but it's in my driveway. And I go outside and I get the dog. I see her, and then I opened up the hood, and there's this. I mean, the groundhog was the size of, a really big cat. Like, I mean, this thing was humongous, and it made this screeching sound,
Yes.
ran off.
Yeah.
And groundhogs, I mean, I remember like that one year, groundhogs were like all over my property, digging holes. I had one that I named Cheech, and he would come out of the hole, eat some, carrots, go back in his hole. But I haven't seen them lately.
No, well, they are just now coming out of hibernation. They hibernate as well. They go into like a dormant, like sleep state.
Kind of like bears.
Yeah, and so they hibernate. So you'll see them now. They should be like the start of May. They'll start coming out, and you'll see them all over the place.
Are you guys mostly more busier in the warmer?
It depends. Like when it gets really cold, the business really pumps up
because they're going inside.
They want to go inside, but since it's been more, I feel like, consistent this year because the temperature change, drop up, and you can't stay in an attic when it's 80 degrees out because it's hot.
Yes.
So that's been the problem. Like it goes back to the temperature change. It's been very consistent, and it's been more so. I feel like they've been getting into structures at a lower point this year. Did you notice that? Like instead of going in the attic, we've done a lot of
we've done
coverings
a few of those,
of going underneath the house.
Yeah.
Because it's cooler down there. So they can find like a warm space that's like a little home for them.
And you guys are versed in pretty much all types of animals except humongous like bears and stuff like that. But I mean critters like you have here, critters would be considered like chipmunks, squirrels, rats, mice, raccoons.
Squirrels. We have flying squirrels in New Jersey.
Squirrels in New Jersey? I've never seen them.
Yes, and they're the worst. I can't stand flying squirrels.
I mean, do they scare you? Do they jump at you?
They fit into a hole that's like this big.
Because
they only need like like an inch maybe.
It's because of the cartilage.
They fly. So they have little.
Their bones must be
They
cartilage.
have wings. So they really are just bone and they can smush right through a hole. I have a picture of one. We went to this house. We were going to this house. Talk about like we wouldn't give up. We went there 5 times. We couldn't find where this squirrel was getting into. It was getting into this tiny little hole in the side of the chimney. And we thought the lady was going crazy because we're like, it's on the first floor, which is unusual to begin with. But they had found like like a piece of the chimney had broken off.
Yes.
And they had found in the side of the chimney a way to get in. And we had been back to that house like 10 times. I swear every time she called me, I was like, no. And she finally said, she put a camera out and took a picture of it coming out of the tunnel we put up.
Wow.
And we were like, thank God. It was the best day of our life.
Well, I think that's because you guys have experience. You've been doing this way before you even owned a company. And so you have a lot of experience where I know for a fact, well, not for a fact, but I've seen it. I've seen companies where they're not the most experienced, and they will come up with an excuse. Well, we found it, we did this and that. But the scope. So what's great about local companies is they don't give up.
No.
And I know why we don't give up is because it's not yeah, we want to make money, but it's our reputation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go beyond
Yep.
beyond what we have to do. Sometimes we go beyond and don't even make a ton of money or money from it. It's just getting that customer that what they paid for and getting the job done right.
Yes.
There's nothing worse than paying for a service
Mhm.
and then like you pay all this money and then it's not done correctly.
Mhm.
And where I see local businesses like us, we don't do that.
No.
Like we are really much more into our professionality and getting it done correct.
Yes.
Even if we have to come back, like you guys said, we kept on
Yeah.
coming back.
At
A
that
lot of companies
point,
don't provide
no.
that.
We had been there, I think maybe five times. And at that point we were like, it was free. We were providing
Yeah.
materials.
We
It wasn't,
we guaranteed
we
the
guaranteed
job,
our job.
Even if we lose money on it,
Yep.
we guarantee.
And you
Yeah.
and yeah, people. I want people to hear that, and I want to emphasize that. They didn't make money. They kept on going, and it wasn't. You know, of course, we have to make money, keep our businesses going, but sometimes it's just not about. It's about
No.
getting that job done. And you know what's really good about that? Also, yeah, you got it done. Maybe you didn't make the most, but word of mouth, and that
Yeah.
person is going to say, you know, what do you call it? Critters and Catchers. They did such a great job. I wouldn't go nowhere else.
Yeah.
So that's really important. I've done it. You know,
Yeah.
I've done jobs where, you know,
It happens. It was something we've never come across before in that one area. It was a very strange spot.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have even thought to look there if we hadn't been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
Like we had gone over every single part of that house, and that was the last spot. And he actually took a look behind it, and when he saw it, we were like breathed a sigh of relief.
That's
We were
great.
I
like,
can't
thank
remember the last time
God.
I was that
Yes,
happy.
we were
Like,
so
That's
happy.
awesome.
last time going back.
Yeah, we were like, that's it. And then she
That's
sent the
awesome.
picture, and I was like, oh, thank God. I'll show you. It's a picture of the squirrel coming out of the tunnel.
Do we have a question?
Yes. Can you tell us about your journey to founding Kritter Catcher? What inspired you to start your own animal removal and exclusion business?
Okay, so Killian and I worked together for a previous company.
Yeah.
And both of us loved the animals. We loved what we did. Like we were the ones staying later, working late. The previous owner had passed away. And so when it was retaken over, we were like, we wanted to run it our own way. You know, we worked with rehabilitators. I'm a rehabilitator. We wanted it to be a humane service. So we branched out on our own. We get along so well. We talk about everything. We both have a goal in mind, and we love the business. So it worked out like we were meant to find each other.
Good.
You know?
And that's the chemistry and teamwork that
Yeah.
you need, because just like anything, I mean, there's no I in team.
No.
And you guys work great together.
Yeah.
As far as what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And so you guys so far together privately, as far as your own, is how many years?
It's 1 year on our own in July. Will be an
Nice.
official year.
That's great.
Yeah.
Plus all the experience that
Yep.
you have. So, and all together, I mean, how many years do you think you have as experience?
13.
13
Yeah.
years
Because
of
I started
experience.
the previous wildlife company. He was my best friend.
Great.
We did it together. So I've been doing it for a really long time, and I loved it from the time I started doing it. I just thought it was so fun. It was always something different. It was like an adventure.
I like that. I
Every
like
day.
that. I
Yeah.
like the fact that it's always something different.
It is. I'm not a good person to like sit still.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine being in an office every day. So
Mhm.
like going out, not knowing what, like when we get calls for babies, we're like, yes, we can't wait.
Baby raccoons.
Yeah.
And we have
Nice.
to like cut it out of the ceiling.
And then you
And-
what do you do with the baby raccoons?
We bring it to the rehabilitator. I've kept
So there's a rehabilitator that
them. Yes.
they raise them and then they release them
Yes.
since they don't have their mother and they could get the
and she's
mom
actually
milk.
close to here. She's in
Riverdale.
Riverdale.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And how
Yeah.
does that work? Is that like a charity type of
So
situation? How do they fund?
We donate money to her, and eventually our goal is to have like a site add part of our website where you can click and donate money directly to the rehabilitators.
That's good.
This way, everybody's taken care of because they
Really?
really help us during birthing season.
Yeah,
Like last
big
year,
help.
her whole entire basement was raccoons. Like it was crazy. Like
Mhm.
babies, we were bringing them nonstop. This year's been a little slower, but I believe that the season's just starting late.
Oh yeah.
Because I've
Yeah.
seen it before. I've seen the shift before. In all these years, you kind of learn how it works.
This is a great interview for me because I've never interviewed anybody, and this is relatively new anyway. So, but I mean, I never thought I would interview somebody that works with catching animals, which I love animals too. And the thing is, people don't think of North New Jersey or New Jersey animals. They
Yeah.
think like Florida, Texas, because they have the boards,
Mhm.
and they like in Texas, or they also have like alligators or crocodile. They and the snakes, but nobody ever thinks like what's in New Jersey. But yeah, we have quite a wildlife. We do have a lot of wildlife
Yeah,
up
we
here.
do snakes too. So we do snakes too. He actually had a
Yeah, the previous
encounter.
company, one of our other coworkers at the time and myself, we got a call for a snake. We thought it was just going to be a normal job, but
You thought it was somebody's pet snake.
no, it was just like a wild snake.
It was a wild snake
Yeah, just
from
in
New
some-
Jersey.
No, it was a rattlesnake.
It was a rattlesnake, but they're not native to New Jersey,
No,
are they?
'cause-
No.
A lot of
Somebody
the times people
brought
like,
one?
yeah, someone they get a pet and then it either gets out or they can't take care of it.
I've never heard anybody have a rattlesnake as
Yeah.
a pet. That's pretty dangerous.
That was like the
Yeah. that
Where
was-
did you find the like? Give us the story on that.
I can't remember what town it was in. It was in some like really wooded.
Maybe Sussex,
town.
Warren.
Yeah, I think it was it was a pretty long drive, but even for a job like that, we have to look up like hospitals nearby just in case we somehow get bit.
Yeah, well,
Just in case,
definitely,
so we
yeah.
got a plan.
And who knows if they have like the
the venom.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
There's
antidote
only,
for
I think
that.
there's only what 2 or 3
Yeah,
in New
it's
Jersey.
very rare.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
most of the time we're not grabbing them. Like we're
No.
more so.
But snakes are rare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
very
we
rare.
do a lot of the preventative for snakes with the snake away. And like, if we'll go, people get more scared than anything. So they want you to come and we inspect and make sure the snake's not there.
Yeah.
And we put the snake away down.
Mm.
There's been a couple rare occasions where we've had to like wrangle the snakes.
So
but-
with the rattlesnake, I mean, because they get into the corner and they get balled up. I know that.
Yeah, it was weird. It was some guy's really rusted, broken down grill, and once we opened it, we heard like the rattling. We were like, at the time, like knowing my worth, like more now, I would have said no, but at the time,
Did you use the stick to grab it by the head, or did you go hands on?
oh no, we used the stick.
Oh, nice.
It was actually the other guy that got it. Like I was kind of like I had the bag. I was like kind of.
And the bag, it always resembles like I know it's probably not a pillow bag, but it always resembles like a pillow bag.
Like a potato sack.
And you put it in there. And where does that snake go since it's not a native of New Jersey?
At the time, we gave it to the owner. Like he dealt
Oh,
with
that's
that kind of-
his snake.
Yeah, like
Oh, wow.
no, it wasn't his snake. Like we were just the employees at the time, so he kind of dealt with it.
Oh
I'm
my
not sure if
God.
it's
So he was like, oh, I got a
something-
rattlesnake.
Yeah.
With bats and like certain rattlesnakes and stuff like that, you have to call the town, and the town comes out, especially for bats,
'Cause of
they
rabies.
need to actually kill them and treat and test the brain for rabies.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
I meant the
Yeah.
business owner, not
Yeah,
the
not- not the homeowner.
I
Okay.
meant our at
Yeah.
the time the business owner. He dealt with it. He like
Okay. Okay. I got exactly
yeah,
what you're saying.
No,
Yeah.
we didn't give it to the homeowner.
Yeah.
The
definitely-
cutest
okay.
rattlesnake.
Yeah, I thought that's what that.
No, I
hey.
wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
before.
thanks for clearing that by out because the whole time I'm thinking like, oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
How
Imagine.
prevalent are bats in New Jersey?
There's a lot of them, but
I-
there's a bat season, so you can only treat for bats 3 months
Ugh.
out of the year.
Yeah.
So if you unless the bat is in your house and flying around in a danger, if it's in your attic, you can't treat it unless it's the months because they're protected species in New Jersey.
They're protected
Yes.
species. They look like rats with wings.
I know,
Yeah.
but they're protected because
Why do you
they
think they're
kill so
protected?
many mosquitoes.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
So they can't. So we
That's
can't.
always good to
you
know.
can't do any treatments on them unless it's in. I think it's May, June, and July, the months where you can treat for bats. If at any time between those months, you can't do anything. You have to leave them. You can't mess with their their
the
area at
domain
all.
or
Yep.
anything. Let me ask you guys a question. Is there like a service with you guys where, like, say I go on your website and I don't have any wild animals on my property, but I do, let's say hypothetically, I do know that there are wild animals that are going to start coming out. Is there any preventative measures that you could take from my property? Like, let's say somebody calls you up and say, hey, I want you guys to put up, I don't know, any defense that I
Yeah.
could keep animals out from my attic. Do you guys do stuff like that? Or
Yeah, we've done that before. It's even if like someone's seen an animal in the backyard, we've covered the underneath of a home with galvanized wire, dug a trench. This way it's proofed so you can't get in there. I mean, that, and also we've worked with real estate agents
nice.
where they're selling the home and they know that at some point there's raccoons there.
Yes,
So they want it covered. So we do that kind of stuff too.
that's good.
Yeah. So we have preventative, and eventually we'd like so that after your year is up,
Yes.
we send you an email and you can extend the year.
Yeah.
So then you have that safety. If something gets into your house, you just call us up, we come back.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
oh, excuse me. We are in a live, and I have said this in the past. This is a live office where we are Junk Doctors NJ, a junk removal company. So we do this in the middle of us working also. But yes, it's something cool that we provide. And that's interesting. That question, with you doing the stuff before the season starts. So let's say hypothetically I have a animal situation, and I know every year this happens to me. I could call you up and say, hey, could you guys, get me prepped, or, what do I have to do?
Yeah.
And you guys do
And we
do
come
that.
out and do it. It's even people where they hear squirrels, they'll call us up. We'll do a wildlife inspection. We'll put the ladders up. We'll check all the areas, and we'll let them know what we saw, what they can do. And some people are just happy with that. They just want the security of knowing
Yes.
that, okay, these squirrels can't get into our house.
Yeah, that's, I'd say, like half the job is just the reassurance for the home.
Yeah, because the thing also I realize is people, I mean, houses in New Jersey are very expensive
Yeah.
already. I mean, property tax is very high. Finding a home is very difficult. So people
Yeah.
want to, protect their investment.
Mhm.
And I don't know if people really understand, like, animals create a lot of damage. I've
Mhm.
lost stoves. I've had holes in
Yeah.
certain places, concrete damage.
Yeah.
And this is as a first time homeowner. And, yeah, you could rent a place and, hey, landlord, fix this.
Yeah.
And the landlord would get it done. But homeowners, and all you first time homeowners, please really take this in consideration. You will save more money in the long run going with a company like this than going without, really.
Yeah.
I mean, critters and catchers, I would think, should be a mandatory thing.
Yeah.
Do you guys do stuff like for people that are, before they buy the home, you come out and look at it, like
Yeah,
you did,
do
you
the
mentioned that?
inspection.
Mhm.
Yes. And we actually did one, and the real estate agent had called us. We came out and we looked around. He didn't want to do anything. And the people moved in without him doing anything. And remember, we got the baby out of the wall.
Oh,
There's one baby.
raccoon.
Yes.
So it
stuck in
seems
the
like
wall.
raccoons
Oh, yeah.
are a big
They're
thing.
very prevalent.
I was thinking more like bats, mice,
Yeah.
squirrels,
No,
chipmunks.
raccoons are like one of our
Raccoons
main,
is your
yeah.
main
Yeah.
thing, huh?
Raccoons, squirrels, and flying squirrels. Flying squirrels are all.
That's
all
the first
over.
time you heard it here first, New Jersey. There are flying squirrels in New Jersey, and we have proof here that you
Yes.
guys have
Yep.
seen it. You can't stand them
No.
because
Yeah.
they get into any little
Yeah.
hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the first. I've seen them on nature shows, and they glide. They're like,
Yeah.
shh. Like, you ever seen a guy, like the base jumpers where they put this?
Yep.
That's what they
Yes.
remind me of. They're just
Yeah.
like flying and
Right.
gliding through the air.
Imagine trying to catch one
I
in somebody's room.
I would.
I was dying.
With the
It
net.
was jumping from every time I went to grab it. It was flying over my head, flying over the. And then we finally
I
caught
thought
it.
that's what works.
Listen, we got it in a cage, right? This is how I knew they could fit out of the
Oh,
smallest
got out of
hole.
the
We put
cage.
it in the cage. It flew out of the cage, and I was like,
What do you
after
mean, they
all
could
those
take
hours
flight
of trying,
from wherever
yes,
they're at?
it just literally jumped. It was at a hole that big. It flew right out and back into the bedroom. We were like, we've just been chasing this for an hour and a half.
Oh my
And
god!
it's back out.
And
Yeah.
hey, that give you guys a lot of props for
Yeah.
that because that's that's your job,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
you guys like doing that, and
Yeah.
I find that kind of funny. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah,
it comes with the territory.
Stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. We love doing it.
That
That's why.
that would have had me dying. I think I would have
Yeah.
been cracking
No,
up
I
seeing
was.
that.
I thought it was the funniest thing. I kind of didn't want to catch it because I was having so much fun chasing it.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh, we have another question.
Yes.
Nice.
Your business provides services for both homeowners and businesses. Are there any difference in how you handle animal removal from residential versus commercial properties?
I mean, it all depends. So we need an inspection. We need to see what's going on.
A lot of variables.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of different things that go into it. And obviously, a commercial, like I had told you before, we just finished a commercial property. There's a lot more licenses. You have to talk to corporate. There's a lot of steps
Yeah.
depending on
Right.
what kind of commercial property.
Insurance.
Yeah,
provisions,
and
all
it's usually a larger scale.
Mhm.
So that's what the job we did in the Bronx was, a huge job.
And you guys, oh, that's also interesting. And
Yeah.
the town that you guys come out of, North New Jersey, is
Nutley.
No.
Nutley, New
Mhm.
Jersey. So you guys are in, great, prime area.
Yeah.
You're right here in like pretty much the heart of northern New
Yes.
Jersey. You have all the highways,
Mhm.
80, 280,
You can go everywhere.
78 is all around. So that's very interesting that you also do New York.
Yeah. Well, this was like, we had gotten this call. It was a huge target in the Bronx. And so we went out there, we're like, okay, we could do this. And then he wanted to do it. We happened to be in the Bronx that day
Nice.
and doing another job because we used to we worked with another company out of New York State. Because New York State, there's like a lot of places that are only 30 minutes from us.
Yeah, like
So,
Westchester.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll do whatever. We're
Yeah.
all right. So we got this call. We went and checked it out, and we were like, we could do it, and we ended up getting the job. So
That's great.
yeah, we go wherever the animals take us.
Wherever the animals take us. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. And also I was also wondering, like, they have in New Jersey, I know I don't know the seasons, but I know they have bear hunting, deer hunting
Duck.
with they do go for duck.
Yeah,
And then
duck.
they also use arrows, like
Yeah.
arrow hunting for deer.
Hmm.
I noticed that you're allowed to do that on certain occasions. But is the population that high to go bear hunting, or
It's high right now. Not so much for bears, for deer.
for deer? I would
Definitely.
think.
But
And
for
deer,
bear, you're really not allowed to hunt bear right now. They're more protected than they were before. You
they
used to
didn't
be
have a
able
hunting
to.
last year.
They do it,
I know they give a certain amount of tags
Yeah.
where you're only allowed to catch a certain amount.
Yes.
Yeah.
but it's less than it used to be because before it was like all
Yeah.
bets are off.
What? So are bear? Is that more for like bear hunting's not more? Is it more for like the sport, or
Yeah.
is it more for like keeping
Sport.
them out of garbage and?
More for sport.
and
I think all hunting, a lot of it is except for like deer, where you can get the venison and eat it and stuff
Mhm.
like that. A lot of it is sport.
yeah.
My mom, her boyfriend is a full-blown hunter,
Mhm.
hunts everything, and he loves it.
Yeah.
He loves going out there. His dog is a hunting dog,
Mhm.
So I think that you have to enjoy the sport of it.
Yeah.
The going out, the waiting.
But they don't hunt. We don't have like a hunting season for a raccoon.
No.
No.
Raccoons are protected. So
Yeah.
are squirrels.
Really?
Yes.
Squirrels.
And why do you think raccoons are protected? I mean, is there a reason? Because there's so many of them.
I mean, it's just.
I mean, I know they're good, cute looking
Yeah.
animals.
I know. I guess it's just it's more so like they're innocent animals. They only live 2 to 3 years in the wild.
Really?
In captivity, a raccoon can live up to 20 years.
Wait, in the wild, they only live that
Yep.
because they're hunted.
Not because they're hunted, because they eat anything. So they chew on wires, they
Oh.
electrocute themselves, they chew on glass. They're
They're
go out.
scavengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're-
I'm
they'll
surprised.
eat.
There's so much food.
They
Like,
get hit by cars. So
Ah.
the lifespan of a raccoon in the wild is only about 2 years.
What about foxes? Do you ever get calls for foxes?
We do, and we do proofing for foxes because a lot of times their dens are under sheds. So we do the proofing of the shed for the den.
And what kind of damage are we talking about? Like, what can a fox do?
Well, foxes will kill small animals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have small dogs, it's very dangerous to have a fox in the backyard
Okay.
because it's a predator. The small dog, the fox is a predator of. So you have to be careful of that.
Okay.
You know, raccoons are afraid of coyotes. So a lot of times we'll use coyote urine to kind of get the raccoons out because it's a natural predator.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, you won't see a coyote and a raccoon in the same property.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. That doesn't happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what is okay, I have a fox on my property, and I can't tell if it's a male or female, but I mean it's like right at home, like it's on my driveway, it'll scratch itself, it'll walk around, and I only hear it at nighttime, and they don't bark, they make a yelling noise.
Yeah.
And
Like squeaking.
well, it almost sounds like a lady yelling at night, and I think people have called the cops on stuff like that, and they're like, no, that's just a fox out in your woods.
It's the fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty much it sounds like you guys are getting a lot of calls for raccoons, but you're ready for whatever.
Yeah. Anything, and we're always reading and trying to understand the habits of the animals and stuff like that, even with foxes and everything like that. This way, when a call comes in, we know how to handle it. Like a fox trapping is very different than a groundhog trapping.
Why?
Groundhogs are herbivores. They only eat fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
So you would just leave a trap out with fruits and with a trail going in.
Yeah.
A fox, they're very smart. So you have actually have to bury the bait and leave it for a day, come back, camouflage it, put the bait closer, and you have to bait it into the trap. So it's a larger process because they are. I guess
that's
smart.
that saying, slicker than a fox.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow. So I guess they evolved to be smart like that because their size and they're I mean, you said that raccoons typically live 2 to 3 years in the wild, which is I thought because I've seen raccoons the size of like little dogs.
Imagine what a 20-year-old raccoon looks like.
Oh my god, I
They're
didn't know
huge.
that.
We saw one, and the lady that we use as our rehabilitator, she has one, and it's like this big.
Yeah,
they're huge.
But you can't domesticate them or nothing.
But they have to be generations away from wild.
Yeah, you can buy them, but it's like farmers like 30 years
they
breed
them.
So why does people want raccoons? I mean, is that something that you've seen?
I mean, I had a pet raccoon for like 5 years.
I wish I would have had I just don't know how to domesticate them.
They're really cute.
They're awesome.
They go in cat litter. He was trained to go in the cat litter, but they are adventurers. They touch everything. They open everything.
And they have like hands.
Yes. Yeah. They wash all their food.
They wash it?
So everything they eat, they wash because most of their senses are in their hands. So that's why if you ever see them, they're always touching everything. That's how they know what everything is. They use their hands to feel and to touch, like where we would smell and hear. That's how it's in their hands.
Nice. That's very interesting.
They're very smart animals, and I mean, I love raccoons. I think that they're just really cute. They don't want to hurt anyone. The only time that they really ever get aggressive is if they have rabies or if they have babies. There's been a very rare occasion where like I've had one time where a raccoon has really tried to attack me, like pounce me. And we were in an attic and I was trying to get the babies. And that was the only time that a raccoon has really tried to come at me.
So typically with taking a raccoon out and extracting one out of the home and they have babies, and you're pretty much saying that they go to a refuge, they don't get put down?
No, we don't. Everything we do is to allow the animal to live out the rest of his life somewhere where there's water and open fields so that they aren't going into people's houses.
Right.
So you would have to travel quite a few miles out into the wilderness. Yep. I know in New Jersey you have the Highland Act where there's no building at all. So there's a lot of, would they survive in there?
Yeah, it's hard to say. So sometimes they will, their chances drop when you take them out of their habitat. So, you know, the rehabilitator that we work with, if we catch them, we want to release them in a certain area, not too far away from there, because then they have more of a chance. So we try to find like preserves or large areas of lands closer to where at least 10 miles away. Because if you bring it anywhere closer than 10 miles, they can go back.
Yeah, they can smell. Yeah.
Yeah. So
this is very good, Claire and Killen. I feel like you guys not only do the job, but you guys have a good background, educational background on the stuff that you guys do, which I find very important. Just one thing to hire somebody and they're like, oh, well, I don't know. But it seems like you guys have the experience. There's a lot of humanitarian involved in there where the animals don't, you know, get put down. But I really want to emphasize that, yes, this is a small business and you guys provide this sort of business for pretty much anybody in New Jersey. What do you find that you do the most enjoyable thing as far as, I mean, your customers must be very happy when you get rid of something that's been, giving them a hard time. What is that?
For the customers, you mean?
Well, well, how do you feel like when you get a job done and it's great and that customer satisfaction? I'm sure that really,
I'd like, because once we solve the problem and it's all for good, that's that's good enough for us.
Yeah, that Maplewood was probably the best.
Yeah,
that flying squirrel
in Maplewood.
It was in Maplewood.
Oh my God!
And we were so happy. I thought we were gonna go out for drinks to celebrate the campaign. I was like, listen.
And this was like a 5-day thing, huh?
We were going. Well, we kept covering areas, and it was like this one spot, and we were like, maybe it's mice. We treated for mice, no additional charge. We treated for that, thinking maybe that's what it is. But it was this one fluke area we've never seen before.
Now with the mice, and because I think that's one of like here, especially where we live in northern New Jersey, in Jersey in general, mice is a big thing.
Yeah.
So how is your mice way of getting them, or how is your mice eradication? Like, what do you guys do for that?
I think that ours differs from other companies because we not only treat where we go and we put blocks and traps down, but we look at the exterior of the structure to find out where the mice are getting in. Like how you had told us the story before, how you had the rats and you covered that hole.
Well, they were right behind my garbage pail. So I keep my garbage pails away from the house and that a little bit further down my driveway. But there's like a big separation of woods and then woods on my other side. And one day I came home, I seen this huge hole. It was about 2 feet long and round. It was just a big, pretty decent sized hole, about this big. And I just seen them going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And I was like, man, and then I had another hole, and then they were coming in behind my I don't know if they were mice because they were taking insulation out of my wall and making a nest behind my oven. So I put these green blocks in that hole, and then they stopped coming in.
Yeah. The blocks, what happens is once they eat it, it dehydrates them, and they go to look for a water source, which is most times outside. So they die outside.
That's what we want.
But that's why we treat the exterior of the structure, because they're getting in somewhere.
So you guys do use like some sort of baiting.
We go around the lower part of the home and we cover it with galvanized wire as well. So we treat it like we would squirrels. And that is something that a lot of companies don't do. So as soon as this community of mice leaves, a couple months pass, a new community can come right back in the same hole because they smell each other. So you're not solving the problem indefinitely. You're kind of putting a Band-Aid on the situation. That's the same thing if you trap a raccoon in your attic that's getting in through a hole. All right, we remove the raccoon, but the hole's still there. So eventually another raccoon or squirrel is going to find that hole. So you're fixing the problem right now, but in the future, it's going to be the same issue over and over again, but it's cheaper to trap. So a lot of people will go with trapping thinking, okay, we're not spending as much money, but you still have a gaping hole in your house that any other animal in the area can get into.
Yeah.
So that's, I say you're putting a Band-Aid on the problem,
Mhm.
because that's all it is. It's a temporary solution to a long-term issue.
Do you guys find yourself? So I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure you find yourself in all parts of Jersey.
Yeah.
The most urban, the most densely populated, even out in the rural areas, because there's animals everywhere.
No, we do raccoons a lot in Jersey City.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Jersey
Yeah,
City
they're
raccoons
crazy.
are insane. Talk about city raccoons. I've seen these raccoons have ate the tunnels. Like literally, you saw the spikes. There's very sharp spikes on them.
Yeah.
They'll eat them. Like
Yeah.
the Jersey City raccoons are next level. Like
Yeah, and they're made of the tunnels are steel. Like we
Yeah.
I
showed you a
seen
picture
'em.
of the
I
aluminum.
seen
'em.
That was just an aluminum one, but
this
We
is-
have
they're
steel
heavy
ones that-
duty, and they'll eat them.
yeah, they go
Like
crazy.
they're like animals. Yeah, they are animals. they're crazy.
They're
you
wild
know?
animals.
Wow, that's really very
Yeah.
interesting. Knowing that their lifespan, how they evolve, they're in the city, they probably see a lot of going
Yeah.
on.
Mhm.
There's a lot of stimulation, maybe
Yeah.
that also contributes to their
And
attitude.
there's
Yeah.
probably a lot in such a dense area that they're
And there's
so
food everywhere.
aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they have no reason to
and
leave.
and so they go underground into the system.
Sometimes, I mean, it's less likely, but we've been seeing that more so.
Oh,
in
you're
the
dealing
past
with
couple
homes.
months.
You're dealing with
Yeah.
homes like
Recently.
brownstones
Yeah,
and
but
stuff.
the Target that we just did, that was they were
Oh,
getting
that was.
underneath.
I mean, Target, a
Yeah,
supermarket.
yeah,
I mean, the
Target.
actual.
Yes.
Oh my
And they were getting
God!
into the storage area.
You want to
of
get
the
that out of there
Target.
quickly.
Yeah, and they were destroying the
Merchandise.
supplies,
I
yeah.
could
So
imagine.
they're
Nobody
losing
wants
money.
that.
So they were getting underneath because it's in the city. So it was like an underneath Target. I guess.
Yeah, like the parking garage is on top, and then the Target you go underneath. It was a pretty weird. Target.
Yeah, it was a very odd layout, but the whole bottom was wide open.
Yeah.
So we had
And that
to
was
cover
in
it.
the Bronx.
Yes.
And how do you feel as far as that job? Do you feel like you
Oh, yeah.
nailed it? They're not coming back
No,
in.
no, they're not. We covered I mean, it's a big, huge building.
Yeah.
We did
Yeah.
that one area. So
Like, yeah, we guaranteed the area we did
Mhm.
because that was like the most prevalent.
Yeah.
But we didn't get like
we didn't
for the
go-
price we charged, we didn't guarantee the whole structure.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you
It
know,
was it's too big.
yeah, and maybe they keep on using you,
Yeah.
and do you see I mean, I'm sure you get repeat customers
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
every year is different. I mean,
Yeah.
animals come back out, they gotta leave.
Yeah. And
Um,
a lot of times it goes like they had birds, then the birds become squirrels, and the squirrels become raccoons.
Oh wow.
So we see that we're like, we'll get a phone call and be like, oh, we had squirrels last year. Now we have a raccoon. And that's a customer that we've been with previously.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like a natural progression that it's birds, squirrels. Nobody takes care of the birds because they're like, oh, they're just birds.
This is very interesting. I think a lot of people, especially in certain, because there's a lot of variables that go into what you guys do. Now you're dealing with a lot of different structures. I'll keep it on myself. I have a dual home. I guess it's downstairs, not a basement. It's bi-level. Thank you, bi-level. So it's a finish downstairs, and then upstairs, and then the attic. There's like this
Pull down.
thing you pull it down,
Yeah.
and then I go up there, and there's nothing but sanitary. I mean, not sanitary. There's insulation everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I see little mice traps that were left over from the previous owners. And I know that there was some, because I see things bitten into there. So you guys actually deal with those type of structures. You go up
We
in
go
those
in the
attics.
attic. Yep. We
Wow. So
climb
you
all
get
around.
suited and booted and you have to go in there. You
and
can't.
we do clean outs as well. So
Yeah.
like if a raccoon's been there for a
Oh,
significant
but what
amount
about
of
mice?
time. Mice we do, but really you don't have to. Eventually the mice, the dropping just dissipate
Yeah.
over time. It's more so like raccoons because you can get roundworm or bats.
Yeah,
The guano
I
can
don't know
cause
if I ever got
respiratory
raccoons.
issues.
I mean, are
But
they
it's-
loud?
Yeah.
Would
you
you be able to
them.
hear them?
Yes. You would
Okay,
definitely
so
hear
yeah,
them.
so I just I'm dealing more with mice
Yeah.
or these rats that are
Yeah.
outside
Is
or
there any like construction in the area where you live going on?
yeah, not really. There's
No?
one house being built up the street.
A
But
lot of times when like the ground is being moved and there's a large amount of construction, it disturbs the rats, so it can cause them to come out.
I didn't even
more.
know there was rats out here.
Yeah.
That was like the crazy
Nutley
part.
right now is having a huge issue with rats
Yeah.
because of all the construction going on with the schools, and they knocked down a building on our main Ave, and it's causing these rats to just come out.
Well, there is no like one solution solve it all situation with rats. I mean, at this point, there's so because they mate and they make so many in a
Yes,
litter.
so
One,
fast.
I mean, what do they have, like 10 at a
Yes,
time or
and
more?
They can give birth
Like,
like a month
I
after they're born.
know.
They can get pregnant. So it's just like constantly mating, having babies.
Oh my God.
Like it's babies having babies,
Yeah.
having babies.
Yeah.
It just
I
never ends.
did a hoarding job in a town in Bergen County. It was right on the Hudson River. I believe it was Cliffside Park.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. It was right there. A developer bought a home from a owner that owned this home, and they got it for a very good price. It was a hoarder, and we started cleaning everything out. We had a big, all our trucks there. The crew was there. I actually showed up because it was a fairly big job. I want to get some content, speak to the people. They said they didn't live there. They inherited the home. And as we were cleaning, I was hearing people outside yelling, and like I heard a woman screaming, ah, and then a bunch of people outside screaming. And I went outside and I was like, is everything okay? And they're like, mice are just running out everywhere. And I came to the conclusion that there was at least over 100,000 mice or more because of the nesting. If I would have known you guys, I think I would have just called you guys up and told. But what happened at the end of this one is they knocked that whole foundation out, and they're putting this big house up there. But I mean, that's how they find a place and they'll
stay in that area, and until you disturb it, they won't bother anyone. But as soon as you start shifting and moving, like you came to move the junk, as soon as you move that junk, they scatter and they go other places. And that's why large construction causes rat problems in smaller suburban areas.
Yep.
And that's just, it's how it goes. And mice, the same thing. You start messing with things, then things start moving around.
And this is great. I do, and we do here at junkdoctorsnj.com. We do junk removal, and does go hand in hand with what critters and catchers do. If we're cleaning a home and it just has rodents or any type of animals that need to be eradicated and taken off that property. Now, this is what's so great about having this group, because we get to know each other. We get to build a relationship. Now I know who Claire and Killing It are, and I can call them up and recommend, or I could tell the customer I can recommend critters and catchers. I don't recommend nobody unless I know them, and I know, because there's a reputation off of me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why one of the reasons why we started the podcast. One of the reasons is because other podcasts, they were charging. People, come on our podcast, you'll pay this much. And I was like, nah, I've never done a podcast, but I invested, and we invested the company, and we're a small company like you guys. There's not many of us, and we have employees that do the cleaning up, and we also go out and help also, and we do clean outs. But I was so turned off about charging people just to come up and represent their company, because charging anybody to come up is worthless to me, because what's really worth it is getting to know you. And then you're like, hey, Junk Doctors NJ, they do clean out, so maybe it's better you guys get this all cleaned out, or however you got, like, that's a good question. What would you recommend if I go into a home and I see droppings of all sorts, and I tell the customer, it seems like you have a vermin problem here. Do you think it's better to clean it out first and then call you guys?
If there's food, I would say clean it out first, because as long as it has a food source, it's not going to eat the bait. So you want to make sure that they don't have a way to get food. That's what the main goal is, to eliminate anything to eat besides that one block that's going to eventually get them killed.
Nice.
But I mean, that's it. They're the only species besides rats that you're allowed to kill in New Jersey. And coyote, if they're on your property and causing property damage, you're allowed to kill them. That's the only 3 things that you can kill in New Jersey. Everything else is protected. Yeah.
Interesting.
And in other states, you can kill squirrels, raccoons.
No possums out here?
There is possums.
Yeah,
a lot
we
of
get a
them.
lot of
We just
those.
got a possum last week. He was a good-looking possum.
Yeah.
Really?
He was. He was very clean. Yeah, he was like so clean, and I'm usually like you're
Cool.
so dirty
Yeah.
that you're a little like.
Critter
It's-
catchers.
yeah.
Catching
out.
the,
Yeah.
nice.
But
Does critter catchers also let's say, oh wait, that's more for like if there was a dog or something running around the neighborhood, they wouldn't call you guys, they would call like an animal.
yeah, we would
Yeah.
we would connect them and tell them like how because a lot of people don't know what to do. So we get a lot of phone calls that are like, "There's a cat stuck in a tree" or some silly thing, and I'm like, "Call your local police department and ask that." I get
It's
that.
almost like
yeah.
a script. Like,
Yeah, he knows as
Yeah.
soon as I get a phone
'cause
call
we
like
get
that.
a
I'm
lot
like,
of those calls.
call your local police
Really?
department and ask them to connect you to animal
Mhm.
control. Yeah, because people confuse.
Are you allowed to grab the dog if you wanted to?
So
and,
we've done trapping for cats. Someone
Mm.
had been feeding these
And that could get
cats,
out of hand.
and it got the lady. It was the daughter that did it. The mom went on vacation, and the daughter's like, "We got to get rid of these cats." We trapped about 50 cats.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and they
where
were
did
she
they
had
go?
gotten them in the house, so we were grabbing them, and we brought them to different shelters in the area. But she had just
Man,
they had
that's
kittens and
insane.
kittens, yeah. So we do stuff like that, and sometimes for the dead animal, we do the dead animal
Mhm.
removal. So we do stuff like that. The cleanup, we do the attic cleanup for feces, and we spray disinfectant. So we do other aspects of the job that aren't directly related to the animal. The say like the dead animals.
Mhm.
If it's on your property, you have to pay for it. So
Mhm.
we're the companies you call if that happens, if
Great.
we come and remove it.
That's
Yeah.
good. A lot of
Mhm.
people, they don't want to get the shovel and just
No,
throw it
no,
out.
Yeah.
no.
No,
People
I
don't
know.
want to touch it.
Believe me, I know.
Yeah.
We see, and that's what we're here.
Yeah.
That's what we provide. Is there anything that you want to tell our audience? Anything about your company that you just want to put out there? A message, promote. I mean, because this is all about promoting and just getting people to get attention to you. What can you say about your company and why should they go with you guys and what's the best qualities of yourselves?
Killian, you go first?
Yeah, I mean there's an audience of
Yeah,
30,000
sure.
opportunities out there.
Well, I definitely want to include that we guarantee our work, and we don't really since we have a contract. Even if we wanted to, we can't stop until we solve the problem.
Yes.
So,
And we're persistent. We're
Yeah.
persistent, and we love what we do. So
Mhm.
we're going to come out there and we're going to do the best job to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Because as much as we guarantee our work, we don't want to go back. We want to go. We want to get the job done right,
yeah,
and we want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So we love what we do. We're honest in all we do. That's one thing about us. We work well together as a team, and we do our very best every day.
Yeah.
And that's it.
You just hit on a key word that I like, honest.
Yes.
And why honesty is important and why it's important to me and Critters and Catchers and Junk Doctors NJ. Honesty goes a long way. I've seen it in many different businesses. The gimmicks.
Yes.
The scare tactics.
Yeah.
I've seen this
Mhm.
firsthand. If you don't get this done, this could cause death of this,
Yeah.
and I get it. Businesses, there, but to me, that's cunning.
Yeah.
That's lying.
Mhm.
That's over exaggeration and almost criminal in my eyes.
Yeah.
So you hit a key word that I really like, and honesty is the key, the best way of going. When I go look at junk removal jobs, I tell the customer, we don't just throw your junk in the back of our trucks, even though our trucks are double the size of any other competitors, and that's our selling point. A lot of gimmicks, and just to give you a backdrop of what a gimmick is in junk removal, let's say hypothetically you have a room and you have a bunch of stuff. Junk removal companies typically use 15 cubic yard trucks. That's like their maximum way of making profit. That's like a guideline. The smaller the truck, the faster it fills up. We all charge the same by how much volume takes up in a truck. So the honesty to the customer, telling them that we break down the items and we pack the truck. We don't just throw it in there and say, hey, you have a full truck when it's half a truck, and then offering a big truck. So the honesty goes a long way. And so you guys don't go in there and give the
No.
like this, oh, if you guys have
Yeah.
a ton of this here and
Unless
you're gonna
that's what's
die.
Unless that's what's happening.
Unless that's happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there was an attic job that we did for bats. The amount of guano that was up there,
Ooh.
I myself pulled out about 7 full.
And for anybody that doesn't know what
Garbage
that means, that's feces.
Yes, that's bat poop.
Yeah.
In layman's terms.
Yeah.
But yeah, like where other companies, like they go out, they'll be like, you need this done, we need to have this.
So much
Like,
unnecessary stuff.
I'll tell people, even if I paid for a lead that they called me
Mhm.
and they say, oh, well, I saw a ground dog. I'm like, well, keep an eye out. If it comes back, you give me a call back.
Right.
You know, I'm not trying to get your money right away. I only want to get it if I think I can solve the problem. I don't
Mhm.
want to go set a trap where you've seen a skunk one time in the past week.
Mhm.
I want to know that if I'm putting a trap there, we're going to catch the skunk.
Mhm.
You know, and everything we do, if we go out, we're not going to cover something that doesn't have a hole.
Yeah.
But a lot of companies will say, you have 5 holes on
And
the
they
house.
still charge them for the
Yes.
trap and
Yeah.
everything.
And we don't.
So you want to make sure
Yep.
there is a problem
Yes.
here.
Yep.
Question?
Yes, the process of removing wildlife from properties can sometimes pose risk to both humans and animals. What safety measures does Kritter Catcher take to minimize these risks?
Everything we do is humane. We make sure that we cover every area of the house so that animal only has that one way to get out. This way that eliminates the animal from getting into their structure because they can't get out. Because that's what happens a lot. A company comes out, they just cover the hole, and then the animal's stuck in the house, so it breaks through the ceiling and gets into the house. That just happened to us a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It broke through the ceiling, actual
it
like
was stuck in
shingles.
the house. Inside. So it had gotten into the house. The owner had someone come and just patch the hole up. It trapped the raccoon in the house.
It's trapped it inside.
So the raccoon broke through the ceiling
I can't believe this.
There was footprints over the entire house.
Yeah.
I
It's like
can't
a crime
believe-
scene almost.
I
It
can't
was
believe
wild.
how much you guys. I'm thinking like we were going to talk about like little rodents and,
Yeah.
but it seems like raccoons are like
Yeah.
your main.
Yes.
But what is your second?
Squirrels. Lions,
Squirrels.
squirrels,
Yeah.
and squirrels. Yeah.
And what about and then mice?
Mice are there too.
Really?
But the bigger jobs are really squirrels, raccoons, bats. During bat season, we get a lot of bats.
Mhm.
But I mean, that's what a lot of people do. They cover up the hole and then it gets in. So that's why the tunnel solves all those issues. It allows the owner to be comfortable knowing that it can still get out, but
Mhm.
once it's out, it can't get back in. And that eliminates
And
everything.
so that trap that you showed me, and that stays.
Yeah, that stays. I mean,
Hmm.
for raccoons, we like to remove it after a couple weeks because
Cool.
it's a larger hole. So squirrels could get into it. So
Right.
so when we do raccoon jobs, we always remove the raccoon tunnel.
So they go in, and then you
They-
come back, and then you get the
and then
raccoon.
we take that trap down and we cover it with galvanized wire. So the hole's covered. But the trap allows them to on their own get out safely and not get back in.
Give me an idea of a hole. Like the hole is on the side of the house, roof, because
I
somebody
mean-
has to fix the hole that the raccoon
well,
right.
a
or
lot of times it's in the RSI,
It's
which
like
is
it's like where the soffit. It's like on a dormer where the soffit meets the roof.
yes, I know.
It's like,
It-
yeah, they
it's-
can just walk right in. A lot of the
Oh.
times they're not secure, and you can just like
yes,
they
that,
flap right up and they go
Yep.
right in.
So the raccoons love that spot.
Yeah,
that's a
that's
very
really popular.
common spot for raccoons. So for that, we'd build a box and we'd put the tunnel on the box and it would give them enough space to get out of the tunnel
Mhm.
and they can't get back in. And that's how and then when we get back, we'll just cover it with the galvanized wire and you really don't have to get it fixed. If it's not causing a leaking or anything like that, a lot of times people just leave the wire up
nice.
Yeah.
until they're ready, until they have the money again, and then they'll go cover it up. So, and we work with other contractors and people that do like roofing, because sometimes they'll rip holes in the roof.
That's what I was
itself.
wondering.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if that happens, we have roofers that will come out and patch the hole that we work with.
Yeah,
Mm.
and sometimes it can get a little frustrating because you want to make it look nice. Like the
Yes.
work we do, it's wire in a big metal tunnel on your house, but
Mhm.
sometimes the customers, they really don't like that.
The cosmetic look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that could be an issue because
Really?
Yeah.
some people value sometimes the way it looks over a
Really?
raccoon or squirrel
Yeah.
in their attic.
Oh.
So they won't want to do certain stuff, and we're like,
Yeah, we're like,
do you want to live with the raccoon?
yeah, it's like we gotta do. It's not really.
But once you put, but it doesn't have to stay there. I
No.
mean,
No.
so that's what I'm saying.
And that's
they
why
can,
I say just let it stay up.
yeah,
and then we
it's
remove
worth it.
Yeah.
And you can't even see if you go out today, right? After we do the podcast, go out, look at people's houses. You'll notice how many people have the one-way tunnels on their house.
Mhm.
So many more people than you would ever think. You'll notice little funnels that the raccoon.
But somebody has to call you to say, "Hey, I got one in there."
Yeah.
And that's
they don't. It doesn't stay in there. Once it gets out of that tunnel, it pushes its way out, and that's it. Then you don't have to come. Pick the
Oh, okay.
animal
Yes,
up.
I got it. Yeah, because I remember seeing the structure. They. You mean it wants to? Okay, because they're in there already.
Yep.
Now they're
Now
gonna
they can
leave.
Push out.
Okay,
and they just-
okay. It makes
kinda
complete
works
sense.
like gutter spikes.
Yes.
If you go forward, you're fine. If you try to pull back, you blow your tires.
So yeah, exactly. So a lot of these raccoons, the only problem that you may run into is that he may leave, but it's like, hey, I left my babies in there.
Yes. So that's why we have to. If it's birthing, right now is birthing season.
Yeah. So
And
you have to check it
usually-
before you do all that.
Well,
Yeah.
we have to get the mother out because, like I said before, they get very aggressive
Yes.
with their babies. So once we know the mother has safely left, we come remove the babies and then we bring it to the rehabilitator.
Mm.
Yeah.
We try to get the mom and the babies
It's
together.
hard.
Yeah,
It's very hard,
really
and
difficult.
people don't want to leave. Like we want to leave the babies on the property so
Mhm.
the mother can get them, but the people don't. Want
No,
that.
they don't
Yeah.
I
want
mean,
that.
they're like, because we've done it before in the.
We've done, it's worked before. Like I remember I stayed longer. Like I went and got, it was this long process of going through, like you got to get the babies, put them in like a trash can, then you release the mom from the trap on the property.
Yeah.
Then like the mom will kind of just run away. Then she'll come back, knock it over, and then bring the babies to a second location. But that's like, it's a long process. And like she said, the homeowners they don't
Yeah.
really want them on their
No.
property. That's
Really?
I'd say it's the most humane because you keep them all
Yeah.
together, but
I hear
a
you.
lot of people don't want to go
Yeah.
through that process.
No, I can imagine. And your website is www.critterscatchers.com.
Yep.
Email is crittercatchers@gmail.com. And
We have Instagram. It's Kritter Catchers.
yeah,
at Kritter
let everybody know
Catchers.
where they could
We
get
follow
to you.
Facebook. We're on Facebook.
Nice.
So we have all
Critter
Well,
Catchers,
yeah.
and it'll come up on Facebook.
Yep.
Great,
Critter
great.
with a K.
Yeah.
Critter with a K.
Yep.
Catch
Nice.
it normal.
Yeah, normal catcher.
Yeah.
And I noticed that when you guys pull up, you guys have like a ladder, so
Yeah,
you guys
we're
come
ready to
prepared.
go. We go high, we go low, we go everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
And-
We're ready to go.
And what is your 5-year plan? Where do you want to see Critters and Catchers be in 5 years?
Well, I know for me, I'd like us to have trucks in different locations,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
techs in certain areas, like north, middle New Jersey, south. I'd like to have different, at least 3 trucks, so
Mhm.
that we have all those, so we can have our techs just go out. Like right now, it's him and I just going up and down and all over,
Yeah.
which we don't mind so
Yeah,
much.
Mhm.
yeah,
like
not so
hanging
much now.
out.
'Cause, we're in the
Yeah,
beginning
Yeah.
you're in the
stages.
beginning
Yeah.
stage. You're
Yeah.
So
growing.
we'll go pretty much anywhere, but eventually, it's easier if you have pretty
Yeah.
much the whole.
Is this your
the
first
state
business
covered.
together? Like first business you
For-
ran
Yeah,
like,
for
yes.
us.
that you guys own?
Mhm.
Yeah. So you guys are young in the business.
Yep.
The only advice I can say is keep on doing it.
Yeah.
You guys sound like you have such immense knowledge of what you're doing that you cannot lose. And the only thing that is just getting that name, because you know what I've noticed, I could be the best junk removal company in the world, but nobody knows who I am.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
with algorithms online and technology, I mean, not to change the subject, but technology is changing so
Wow.
rapidly. I'm not sure if you guys heard of like the whole Chat GPT and
Yeah.
all this new technology that's at our
Yeah, it's getting
fingertip.
crazy.
I mean, have you used Chat GPT yet?
No, I haven't. I've
Oh
been hearing
my
a little bit
God,
about
it is just amazing. Just the paperwork it could save you, and there's so much out there at our fingertips that could really bring your business
Yeah.
up there in the
Yeah.
forefront. What I've noticed, like with us, like it's the algorithms. Like
Yeah.
the better your website, the better the reviews, getting good
Yeah.
reviews, that will get you more,
It'll
support,
get you
rank higher, and then
Yep.
SEO and
Yeah.
all that
Well,
stuff.
that's what we've been
I
we've
was
been
gonna-
doing a lot of different interviews for people for SEOs because it's so important what is behind all the images and stuff like that on the website.
Mhm.
So we've been interviewing with people and trying to talk because it's scary when you think about, all right, we're going to give a company the ability to host our website, handle it, do our Google ads
Yeah.
and stuff. So
Be careful with Google ads, because Google ads could be tricky.
yeah.
Because I ran into some situations where somebody was calling and they were like, no, we're looking for a plumber, but they messed up and put a different phone number because Google ads they don't use your
Yeah.
companies. So that was something that was alarming. But Microsoft Bing has come a long way. They use AI technology on Bing because Microsoft invested in the company OpenAI, which is the developers of ChatGPT.
Oh.
And there's many different things that you can use that could create images and just amazing things. And you'll see it in a couple. If you do more research on ChatGPT and do more research on imaging software that you can make images, and you'll see it. Like
It's crazy.
it's really amazing. You don't have to. It's all in a prompt. You could say raccoon on top of a roof, and it'll look just like a real. You can't even tell the difference. And you can make your own content and just put your own spin on it, like critters, catchers, and so there is today in 2023 and ongoing, technology is more helpful for guys like us and people like us that does businesses.
We try to do as much research. Like I'm always like trying to watch videos, look on Facebook. That's how I was able to find you guys. I joined groups. I'm looking at different lead services, talking to people. It's just hard with the lead service. You really have to be on top of
You
them.
have to.
Yeah.
Because if you're not on top of them, they'll get you. They really will.
They will.
And we use one service right now, which is good, but we're on top of them. Like we are constantly watching to see what's going on.
My recommendation is for you guys is do some good research on the chat OpenAI, the company called OpenAI. Set up a account with them and just see what you could do with them, and you're gonna be like you're gonna be very surprised on the things that you get accomplished there. You're going to be very impressed. But there's so much now that could help us here at Junk Doctors NJ to keep our costs low. And even you guys, small businesses like us, we do most of the work ourselves. We're hosting, we do our own websites. We use the domain and whatnot, but we're not a huge multi-million-dollar company, so we're doing the work ourselves. Plus we're going out doing the jobs and scheduling. So you guys probably do the scheduling and it's a lot of hard work. And even to this day, I've been doing this for over 20 years. Not junk removal per se, but I've been carpet cleaning, still going, water restoration. Like if there's a flood in people's homes, we also service that, and we do all that stuff. And then also the garbage removal. We supply employees. Even myself, I'll go out there, and nobody has to worry about lifting a finger. And same thing with you guys. You just call, critters and catchers. Don't worry about going after the animal. We got it, and that's the reinsurance that I think your customers want, Is there any franchises that do what you guys do?
There are some. It's more so pest control than it is wildlife remediation. There's one franchise that does just wildlife work, but they're more in like the middle America. Not really. There's no real franchises in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Everything is more focused.
We need it here.
Everything is focused towards pest control. And then wildlife is kind of on the side, which is why you get like shafty work.
Yes.
Because that's not just what they do. We just focus on wild animals.
And eradicating that problem.
Yes.
The nuisance.
That's our main goal. Whereas other companies are like, oh, we mainly do pest control, but we'll get rid of your raccoon. And those are usually the jobs we go back to.
And pests are more like
Pests is
The
like
insects.
termites
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
And that's not your thing.
No,
You're
no.
more on the animal. And
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, termites, they do cause damage.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I don't know what causes more damage, but
Yeah.
raccoons, mice, rats, I mean, they cause some
Yeah.
serious damage.
Yeah.
Wires,
Yep.
pipes, I mean, you name it. I mean, they cause some serious issues.
Yeah, they really do. And the wires, because squirrels' teeth continue to grow throughout their life. That's why they chew on wires.
Oh my
Because it's
God.
used to grind their teeth down.
Oh my
So
God.
they grind and grind and grind. It can cause a lot of issues, and it can cause lighting issues and all different stuff like that. That's why, and also groundhogs cause structural issues because they dig extensive tunnels. So they can cause,
Really?
yeah, they have tunnels all underground. They
Oh
can,
my
if it's under your
God.
structure, it can cause parts of the structure to collapse.
Maybe
Because that's how,
miniature sinkhole.
yep,
Yeah.
that's how intricate their
Oh
tunnel
my
systems
God.
are.
I didn't know
They
how
have an
deep they went.
entrance, an exit, a side
Yeah, because I
door.
haven't seen
Yeah.
the exit point
Yeah.
of the groundhog. I just
Yeah.
wonder. I always thought that
Oh,
that
it's
was just.
probably on your friend's property.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
what I was gonna say. We've had so
God.
many jobs where it's or what they would think is the main hole is on their property. We trap it, but then there's like little tunnels going under the fence, and then their neighbors have holes, and
Yeah.
it's pretty intense
Yeah.
sometimes because
Wow.
it's popping out everywhere.
We post all our videos on Instagram with all
That's
the,
awesome.
yeah, with all the raccoons
That's
and the
awesome.
babies. Yeah. So we like to share like
Yeah.
all this wild
Well,
stuff.
that's
we do.
important
Yeah.
content, because I believe when customers get to see it, is more of a
Yeah.
personal touch. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
they know, what they're
Uh-huh.
doing. I mean, I really like you guys, man. You guys are
Yeah.
really,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
friendly.
you too.
I feel like that's the best thing about having a good company, where sometimes you get like service where they're just like, we're here, we're not gonna really explain
Yeah.
too much, don't worry, but I think you guys are more hands-on and
Yeah.
more, and you explain more to the
Yes.
customer,
We
and
take
you
our time out. I mean, I think every customer we talk to, we explain the process, we explain the time frame and what it might work. Because if we put a tunnel up, sometimes for squirrels, we say 3 to 5 days. They're scared, they smell us, and squirrels store food in the attic. So they could stay up there for a little bit of time, but they dehydrate. The dehydration period on a squirrel is 3 to 5 days. So they have to eventually come out for food and water. So we always give that time frame. Raccoons, it's a little different. They don't store food. They might be scared for a night, and then but they have to scavenge. That's part of their nature. So they have to go out. So we explain all this when we get on the job. We tell them what we're doing. We take before and after photos of all our work, because usually people can't climb to see what's going on.
no, they don't see that.
So anybody could do anything.
Mhm.
So everything we do, we send to our
That's great.
customers, before and after photos. We have invoices that explain the process.
Good.
So we try to cover all the bases in that regard, so that people are comfortable. People want to see what they did.
Yes.
They're not going to climb on the ladder to go up there, but at
Yes.
least we give them a photo showing, okay, this was what the hole looked like then. Now this is what we did to it, and people love that. The ability to know what's going on
Really?
in the house. Yeah.
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 That's
people
great.
don't do that.
That's a good touch.
Mhm.
That's very important. The
Yeah.
more information a customer could get, I feel like the same way. The more I give to the customer, the more they feel like, okay, money well spent.
Yeah.
They don't feel like, oh, I just spent this money
Yes.
and I didn't really understand, the whole gravity of the situation. And I can't emphasize this anymore to everybody that's watching this or gonna watch this, that if you do have a commercial, residential property, consider looking around that property. And if you're a first time homeowner, definitely look on that property, because
Mhm.
I know from experience, you guys know from experience
Yep.
too, the damage. It is much more affordable to just get it over with than that future bill that's going to be
Yeah.
in the thousands.
Yeah.
And that's somebody that has experience. I paid over $10,000, well, close to it. Yeah, almost about everything included, with the stove, all the wires, and just the damage that was committed by a raccoon, and it was a raccoon and the rats. Hey everybody, we're back. That was a technical difficulty. My fault. Nothing to do with critters and catchers. I did not have my computer plugged in. However, before we end the session here, I want critters and catchers to say their end piece and why should anybody call you guys to do any work and whatever you guys want to say, your number, how people can reach you, whatever.
You want to take us out? Come on.
Sure,
You do
I'll
it.
try. You can find us on www.crittercatchers.com, and our Instagram is also just Critter with a K.
Critter with a K.
Yeah,
Remember that.
Don't forget. A lot of people get that wrong. So. But yeah, you get us. You can find us on Instagram or Facebook. And definitely, if you have any problems, you can contact us at our website or our phone number is 973-747-5455.
Yes.
Did you want to add anything
That's
else?
it. Just call us. Our everything Instagram is Kritter Catchers at Instagram. So you can reach us there. You can follow us, all our videos. We'll show you what we do throughout the day.
Yeah,
with
definitely
all
the
our
videos.
wildlife situations and Facebook. We're on there too. And reach out. Anything you need, we're here.
Local New Jersey.
Yeah.
Local businesses, go local. You will not regret it. These are great company. Critters and Catchers. Save yourself the aggravation, and most importantly, save yourself that huge bill that may come if you do not eradicate the critter situation. And the best thing about this company and what I've heard is it's humane. You know, they're not going to go and kill the raccoon. They get taken to a safe haven where they get to grow, and they're not in your attic causing immense damage. Raccoons, critters of any type, they're not made to go in people's homes. There's too many dangerous things in the home, from chemicals to anything that could wires, electricity, pipes, gas pipes. I can't emphasize that enough. It's not only harmful to the actual animals, but to the house and maybe to the family, depending on how extensive the damage is. So yeah, definitely consider Critters and Catchers and check them out all over social media. And thank you for tuning in, and thank you for watching, and we're going to keep on growing this group and having anybody with a small business come up and just tell us about what you guys do, and let's get a spotlight on local businesses, and let's grow together and help each other out. Thank you so much, and you guys have a pleasant day. I want to thank you very much
thanks
for coming
having us.
up.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. It was great.
I had so much fun.
And it was so educational.
Yeah.
I think people really need to really be educated on this stuff, because all we do in New Jersey is drive around, getting to where we have to get. Very fast paced, densely populated. We forget about our home. Then, when it's too late, big bill comes in because some animal destroyed something. So thank you for educating us and making it aware, especially for the season now too. So it's very important. So yeah, give a look around your household and your property, and give Critters and Catchers a call. Thank you very much, and have a great day. And this is from Christopher with Junk Doctors NJ, your premier junk removal service.